You are listening to Let's Talk Trio on podcast. Keep up with the latest episodes by downloading the Podbean app or stream episodes via our social media accounts. Search for Let's Talk Trio on Facebook or Instagram. This episode is sponsored by Student Access. Student Access, the leader in Trio software. Student Access is an online database solution that allows Trio programs to track their students' information, connect with students by text messages, streamline the APR, and work from anywhere, all online, with automatic updates for changes from the Department of Education. Their technical support team includes former Trio staff and has over 50 years of combined experience working with Trio. Make it easier to focus on your priority, the students. For more information and to request a free demo, visit their website at www.studentaccess.com or call them toll-free at 1-800-801-1232. That website again is www.studentaccess.com or 1-800-801-1232. Be sure to share your favorite episodes on your social media by tapping that share button. This is a great way to support the podcast. Now here's your host, Juan Rivas.
Thank you, Amelia, for that wonderful introduction. Hello, listener, and welcome to a new season of Let's Talk Trio. This is Season 6, Episode 1. I am your host, Juan Rivas. In today's episode, we have a friend of the podcast and three-time guest, Amaris Lopez, makes another appearance on the Let's Talk Trio podcast to give us a life update, working in Japan, and a professional experience. So coming up in just a bit, Amaris Lopez. A huge thanks to our sponsors, Angelica Villalpando, Rosario Riley, Dr. Ryan Barone, Dr. Jamie Motley, Dr. Jeff Naputi, Angelica Valdez, Felicia Rivera, TrioJoblist.com, NOSOTROS Education Center, Cambridge Educational Services, and Student Access. Thank you so much for your support of this podcast. You too can be a sponsor of the podcast. Head on over to Patreon and search for Let's Talk Trio. Choose one of 4 patron levels. You can support this podcast for as little as $1 a month. $1 a month goes a long way in supporting this podcast. If you own a business and would like to run an ad on our podcast, send us a message at letstalktrio@gmail.com. You can also become a supporter with a one-time donation to the podcast PayPal account. Our handle is @letstalktrio. Any amount is truly appreciated. If you would like to nominate a participant, staff, or alumni to be on the podcast, send us an email at letstalktrio@gmail.com. That email again is letstalktrio@gmail.com. Again, a great episode featuring Amaris Lopez, our three-time guest, here for some life updates. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. 3, 2, 1. Hi, Trio Nation. My guest on the podcast is no stranger to the Let's Talk Trio podcast. I want to welcome back Amaris Lopez, who has been a previous guest of ours, is currently living in Japan, and she has a lot to tell us. Amaris, welcome back to the podcast.
Long time no see, Juan.
It's been a while. How have you been?
I've been really great. Just woke up. It's currently 10:43 a.m. on a Saturday here. It's probably Friday over there, right?
It is Friday evening here. It's about 7:44, and you know it's going over here. But I'm so glad we were. Let's be transparent with the audience. We were talking before the podcast, and Amaris and I were just kind of catching up, talking, and we said, "Hey, you know what? Let's just record a podcast right now." So here we are. This is amazing. So thank you for agreeing to do that.
No, thank you for always reaching out to me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Great podcaster through your nation.
I appreciate all the support that you've given, Amaris. I think all the things that you're doing in Japan are amazing, by the way. Not that I stalk you or anything, but I do follow you. I do follow your stories. I follow everything that you're doing. You're doing great things out there.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I also follow you in your hikes. You're every
Oof.
time you post a hike.
Those are fun. I will say those are fun. Pero you've been in Japan for over a year now, right?
Yes, it's been a year and 2 months exactly,
Wow,
specifically.
how's that going?
Oh no, I mean it's very I would say it has been like a roller coaster because I'm here by myself with a new culture, a new language.
Yeah.
But I can just say that Japan is such a magical country where you're never gonna feel necessarily judged or like even as a foreigner, Japanese people are really kind,
Hmm.
very, very kind, and they hold really big values towards helping people. Even if you're a stranger or a foreigner, they will help you. So my experience has been incredible. I mean, I've had, it's been difficult. We work life, the big ups and downs,
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
but I am really grateful. Like I would say grateful.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Now, for a lot of the audience that may not know, or maybe this is the first time they're listening to you, Amaris has been on the podcast before. One time, right before she graduated from CSU Monterey Bay, and
Shoot, I,
then the second time, you were on as you were about to leave for Japan.
I
Uh,
was I was the baby,
yeah,
literally.
yeah, like last year. That's crazy to think.
No,
Like,
the first time that you recorded me,
yeah,
it was during the pandemic, and I was
that's
about
right.
to study abroad in Japan.
That's
I was gonna
right.
be a student, and I did all the paperwork, but then COVID came in, and they're like, no,
That's
no, no,
right.
you're gonna have to go back home. So I was studying abroad in Tijuana,
Wow.
Mexico.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And to see, so for the listeners, if you want to go back to the first episode with Amaris, that's a few episodes back, but episode one with Amaris is that journey that they're taking, and then the episode two is that kind of the follow up because you were about to go to Japan because you got this new position. Can you tell the audience about what you do now?
Yeah, correct. So, for anyone that wants to work in Japan in the future, please annotate this name. This is one of the best companies to work as an English teacher, teaching English as a second language. The company's in Japan. It's called JET, Japanese Exchange Teaching Program. And basically, what I do, I'm an English teacher teaching. I can teach from well, applicants can teach from elementary all the way to high school, but I teach only
Wow,
elementary. Yeah, I have
elementary.
a lot of babies.
That's a lot of little ones, but you're shaping their minds. You're
Oh my God.
helping them understand the English language, which is also amazing in its own.
Yeah, it's been incredible, but I do want to agree that so the program is so nice where they pay you for your airplane ticket back and
Hmm.
forth. And they also help you with your training. So you stay like one of the fanciest hotels in Tokyo for 3 days
Wow.
and you get like this really cool training. So it's very cool. They give you a lot of resources. There's a lot of community. In my city, we're about 80 teachers.
Hmm.
And all of us, each one of us has like a different school. So I don't work with them. I go to my school and I'm the only foreigner. But in terms of my school, like my kids are my everything. Like I've been working
Oh, that's amazing.
here now. Yeah. And they know Spanish. I taught them Spanish.
He's taught them
They're like,
Spanish. That's so
oh,
cool.
of course. They know hola, adios, and ayayay. And bravo, bravo.
Awesome. Bravo.
Oh,
Eso,
yeah, they're
eso.
so cute. Yeah.
So, Amaris, part of what you do in Japan is you teach children English, and you've been teaching them a little bit of Spanish. But surely you get some funding from the United States to be there, right? No, or are you on a
Funding? What do you
scholarship?
mean funding? Oh,
Eh?
sponsorship? Like
Yeah, like
getting
sponsorships or scholarships.
like oh yes, yes, correct. Well, we do we there's scholarships out there, and since my embassy, the embassy from Jet, it's connected to like Japan. They have this thing called micro grants. So you apply, you build a proposal of what kind of event you want to do, and being an RA for many years, this is easy pan comido, like we say in Spanish. Easy bread. So I wrote this proposal, and something that I really wanna improve in my school is like cultures, like put expose the children to more cultures.
That's awesome.
So in my library, I went and then I saw there wasn't like any space, like any American libraries where they're dedicated with a lot of color to culturalism. So I just wrote this proposal. I had a meeting with my supervisor, I had a meeting with the principal, with my board of education. I built this, why and that. I did like a budgeting list, and I got $1,000. And the
Wow,
library right now looks amazing. Like it
that
has
is
American
amazing.
style. Hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The kids are.
Congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah,
But you were saying the kids were.
the kids were really excited. Like they never seen anything like that. So I'm like, you better read now.
What do you love most about teaching in Japan?
The thing I love the most about Japan is the dedication and the dedication that the teachers have for their kids, but also how the kids react to things that they don't know of. Because
Mm,
like
hmm.
here in Japan, it's like only Japan, like because they're all Japanese, right? So
Right.
it's when I show them videos about like cultural videos, or when I show them videos about um other countries, they're like, wow, like they saw this video about the kids in America getting
Hmm.
chocolate milk
Mm,
and milk, and they don't have that option. They have to drink the normal milk every day.
really?
So they were like,
Oh,
they were like, ina, which in Japanese means like, oh my god, yo quiero, I want. Like that's
yeah.
so.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
I think the reaction, and also seeing how much English they learn, because I do have to say that my kids know, compared to 1 year ago, they actually know English, because I've grown as a person. I've had to educate myself, and I was thrown to the battlefield of education, and I've never studied education, and now I'm here having to deal with all of these things, and now I can say that I've grown too as an educator.
Absolutely. So I will tell you, Amaris, from the first time we met to now, how much growth I've already seen in you. But you were already, I'll say this, you were always prepackaged with that desire to learn and to share knowledge with others, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Because from the moment I met you, you were like, I'm ready to share my story. I want to share my journey. This is what I'm about. This is what I love to do. And then even on last year's podcast, you were like so excited, and to know that you're still excited now, that passion carries over. It's just wonderful to see. Um, so my question to you is: living in Japan, what are the challenges? What have been some successes? What do you love most about living in Japan? Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
The challenges. I think the challenges is to accept to accept what the negative aspects of the culture, I
Mm.
guess. Like, and also being by myself,
Mm.
because like I'm by myself without my family. And you and I are Mexicans, and we grew up with
Family is
people all the
important. Yeah.
time. So it's been a struggle. The first months when I was here, living by myself was definitely not hard. I have really good friends. I have an amazing community, but it's not the same. And I've grown as a professional person, but I've also grown personally.
Hmm.
So I guess that's like one of the hardest challenges. Be by yourself. Be in peace with your own silence, right? Your mental
Mm.
health, your goals. Another challenge is the work accepting the culture in general. Because at first I was like, oh, but like, why don't you do this? Like they shouldn't do this. I came to their country, and that's like how a lot of people, like, whenever we travel, whenever we move to another country and we live, we take our culture. We're we need to be more open minded, and it's a skill. But at first, it was hard for me to accept, some things with education laws and all that kind of stuff. But
Certainly.
now I come to realize that I cannot do anything, and I just have to ignore it and focus on what I have to do as an educator, right? Um, those are my biggest challenges. And then my most successes here in Japan have been being able to find communities, and also like do collaborations, or apply for the library, like make changes in the
Hmm.
community.
Hmm.
Oh, I forgot.
Dime.
I and I'm not trying. I am the regional advisor for my prefecture. I'm an
Oh,
RA here.
nice! Congrats! Yeah, that's awesome.
I remember I told you I don't want to be an RA anymore. I'm tired, and then now I'm here.
Hey, sometimes the work follows you and it calls you, right?
Yeah, it's just like my friends who are the professional advisor and who are part of the team. It's not like in a university. It's totally different. It's more
Hmm.
easy, and it's not a paying job. But there was just a lot of problems with like mental health and that kind of stuff that they were not being touched. there needed to be more coordination and more resources out there put for our teachers, our foreigner teachers. So yeah, I've done my little things where I've helped the community in my own way. So I'm happy to hear that. And I think having a good community of people. I've been having the best experience. Like honestly, I have so many friends. I have so many unique people that I'm like I met this Japanese person that she is the teacher. She is the director of the dancing flamenco studio in
Oh,
my
wait.
city.
They
She
have a
speaks
flamenco studio over there?
Yes, they do.
Wow.
And she doesn't speak English. She speaks Spanish and she's Japanese.
What? Okay, kind of mind blown moment for me because like Japanese and talking Spanish fluently.
Yeah.
Amazing. So is there some type of like Latino culture happening in Japan? Amaris, did you bring Latino culture over to Japan? Is that what happened?
I did not bring Latino culture in Japan. It was already here. No, but Latino culture is really big because I do bachata and salsa to the side.
Hmm.
Um, and one of my friends, he's famous and he has a beer in our prefecture and two universities. He wrote a book about his life about multiculturalism and global education. So he has gone to many schools to give speeches about that and his story traveling around countries. He came to my school to do,
Hmm.
we cross collaborate. So we had all of my students in the, sorry, we had all of our students sitting in the gym and then he gave a presentation about multiculturalism. And he also danced bachata and salsa, but he's an educator. Like,
Hmm.
that's the thing I'm trying to say. Like, you bring unique communities together. I think, yeah, no, I didn't bring it. I looked for it. I told one of my friends, say like, who has been a teacher here for like 2 years, hey, I'm really interested in salsa bachata. Do you know a place? Then she told me about this girl that she knows this bar where they give like classes. It's
Hmm.
small, and then I started to go there every month, and now I'm part of the group chat.
That's
And
awesome.
the flamenco thing, I saw it in a poster. I called, and then I told her in Japanese I'm Mexican, and then she started speaking Spanish to me, and now we're
Wow.
friends.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
So Latino culture already existing in Japan. It's like you said, it's already been there. Were you surprised to learn that it was already there, or did, like you already kind of knew that there were some connections there? Sorry, I caught you
I
in the
wasn't.
middle. You.
Oh no, you're. I wasn't surprised because bachata and salsa are such a international dancing community. Like,
Hmm.
if you search salsa and bachata, there's gonna be appear like studios all over the world. They have one in Korea too, in China, Philippines.
Hmm.
Like it's such a famous dance.
Hmm.
What I and I also I'm not also not surprised because I already knew about this because of the song Bachata en Fukuoka from Juan Luis
Hmm.
Guerra.
Hmm.
You know, Bachata Fukuoka is a city in the down south of Japan. Bachata en
Oh,
Fukuoka. And Juan Luis Guerra, a bachatero dominicano, he sang that song because he
oh
went to
wow,
Fukuoka. So
wow,
it's
okay,
just, and also Latino culture is really famous right now. So that's also why I'm like, you know,
yeah.
I just I just never managed to find it in my city because I live in a really small city. Like
Mm.
it's not big, but I found people.
Tell us about your city. Well, where do you live, and yeah, what's the community like there?
Yeah, of course. If we compare it to California, I would say I live in the south part of California, so-called.
Oh,
So
okay, that's a good comparison.
yeah, I live in one of the least famous islands of Japan, which is called Shikoku. I live in the prefecture of Ehime, which is the prefecture of mandarins. Our logo, this is Mr. Mikan. He's the orange dog.
Uh, okay, we need to take a
And
photo and like post it on the podcast.
a Mikan? Okay,
Oh,
okay,
Mikan, of
sure, sure.
course, of course.
Yeah, he's an orange, so we sell a lot of oranges. One thing I do have to say that Shikoku is mainly known for Buddhism because we have 88 temples where people do like this kind of journey to visit every temple
Oh
and
wow.
then they get a seal. It's like something, not Buddhism. I think it's Buddhism, but it's like a journey. It's called the 88 Trail something. So our island is known for that. I know a lot of foreigners come here for that, but also we have we live like in the rural area, but it's
Hmm.
so unique, like how the island is, because literally you have like the sea, and then you have the mountains next to it, and you can get to the
Wow.
mountains in like 1 hour. You know,
Uh-huh.
it's like kind of like Sim City. I would describe it that way. Like everything's so close together. Um,
Okay.
but a big thing about the community here is really Japan, the south area of Japan is usually like more chill, I would call it. That's why I call it SoCal. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
more chill,
It's a
more
little bit more
people
relaxed.
tend to be more relaxed and more open-minded.
Uh-huh.
Whereas in Tokyo and more like going up north, they're more like New York style. I would describe
Ooh,
that.
so like very brash and like very forward, and they're like, get out of my
Yeah.
way.
Kind of. Not everyone, but I've gotten that
Got
experience.
it.
I can say because I've traveled a lot in Japan, but
Yeah.
yeah, and my city is also. I don't know if you've seen the movie Chihiro, the Chihiro.
I don't think I
Hayao
have.
Miyazaki. You know the famous movies of Japan, like the Ghibli studio movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Do you know there's like a onsen, like a red house where
Mm-hmm.
it's a little girl. So that onsen, that bathhouse, it was inspired by one of the oldest onsen, which is in my city, and it's called Dogo Onsen. It's red.
What? That's
The
awesome.
director, the director came here and he literally like saw it, and that's what influenced him to create the onsen from his movie. Fun
That's
fact.
awesome. That is so amazing. Hey there. We'll be right back after a message from our sponsor.
Are you seeking guidance to enhance your TRIO project's effectiveness and success? Look no further. NOSOTROS Education Center, NEC, is here to empower your TRIO project with expert consulting services. NEC's mission is to promote the effectiveness and impact of TRIO programs. Since 2003, NEC has specialized in providing professional development and in-service staff trainings, allowable cost services, for TRIO projects across the country. The team at NEC, with over 60 years of combined TRIO experience, offers customized workshops and seminars for project staff, compliance assessments, external evaluations, working on and submitting APRs, database customization and training, development of policies and procedures manuals, and project implementation or reorganization services. Additionally, NEC has secured over $774 million in federal funding with a 92% success rate through their live and on-demand proposal workshops, assistance with data collection and review, detailed technical reviews, and comprehensive proposal development services. Join the hundreds of colleges, agencies, and TRIO projects across the country who benefited from NEC's expertise. NOSOTROS Education Center, your partner in TRIO's project success. Visit their website at nosotros.edu.org. Again, that's nosotrosedu.org.
And now, back to the podcast. So, we talked a little bit about Latino culture in Japan. You've talked a little bit and shared a little bit about living in Japan, which we'll get more from you here in just a bit. But I'm curious. So there must be a large Latino community then in Japan, or am I completely wrong?
No, there is a big community. There's actually groups where you can join. And Japanese people are really interested in learning more about other cultures. Japanese people are getting like they're wanting to learn about cultures, and I met a lot of Latinos. I think we're 11 Latinos right now in my city where we have a group chat, which is a lot because I've told you, like, we're not a big city, so it's very
Mm-hmm.
impressive. So imagine a big city like Tokyo, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Talk to us a little bit more about living in Japan. Like I said, I've scrolled and looked at your Instagram. You're learning drums. You look like you're dancing, surfing, doing a lot of amazing things out there, Amaris. So start wherever you want to start. But yeah, talk to us a little bit about the social life that you're living out there.
Hmm. Well, I recently, like you mentioned, I joined taiko, which is Japanese traditional drums. I've always been interested in learning taiko because it's such a unique type of music. Like in Japan, it's very hardcore, but also you have to be very like you have to be able to meditate your emotions really well, and like every movement counts. But I joined after I saw Matsuri, which is a Japanese festival, and I told my supervisor I wanted to join. And then, yeah, I've been there 2 months, and now I'm gonna go out with them in like 2 weeks. We're gonna eat together with all
That's
the
amazing.
community. Yeah, but my social life in Japan is incredible. Like, I'm busy every weekend.
Of
So,
course, of course.
and this is part of what I've told you. Like, coming here, also notice that my social battery has decreased because I work for one of the biggest elementary schools in my
Oh,
prefecture. A
uh-huh.
thousand babies. So imagine, I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
my social battery is just, it's all like I need a rest. Um,
You're a
but
warrior.
other,
Like, yeah.
but yeah, no, my social battery, like, my social life is like normal. Same in America. I go out with my friends. We do karaoke. We sometimes drink. We sometimes do home study together. Yeah. I mainly hang out with my teachers though. I'm not gonna lie. I hang out a lot with my teachers, like my Japanese teachers.
Okay.
Yeah. So I enjoy that a lot. A lot of spending time with the locals.
That's awesome. What's one thing about Japanese culture that you learned that is still with you to like right now? Like you see it and you're like, you know what? I honor that. I see it and I got to implement it on my daily life.
I think always helping the community.
Hmm.
I love how dedicated they are to their students, but also like to every relationship they have. Because when I cook for Japanese people here in my apartment for my teachers, a lot of them would bring me something like food or like because that's called omotenashi, which is Japanese etiquette.
Hmm.
Um, they're very grateful, and that's the thing. Like I tell them, you don't need to bring me anything, but they brought me stuff.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
not only with that, but that's also the way they see life. Like they don't expect anything in return, and they work so hard in everything they do, like cleaning, cooking. That's why Japanese food looks so good because they actually work hard to make it look pretty.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
the pencils, like super cheap stuff here, it's good quality because they actually like work hard. They're like, okay, I'm making this. I need to be dedicated to everything I do. So
Wow.
I think that, yeah,
And I feel I get the sense that you've implemented that in your life that you're like I have to level up what I do. And you were talking earlier about like being a teacher and that you have to give it a little bit extra.
yeah. I do have to give a little bit more to to my communities in the sense that like, I do agree that sometimes it's good to be selfish. Like it's good to think about yourself, but also the world will be such in a better place if everyone did this much, a little bit more for people
Mm,
without expecting anything. We'll be
hmm.
so much in a better place. Like, you know,
Absolutely.
donating money, doing community service. I don't know, staying an extra hour because the kid that needs to talk to you about his problems going to home. Like, I don't know. So yeah,
I like that you alluded to Howard Zinn's quote, and you have it on your. If you don't mind me telling people about your website, do
yeah,
you mind?
sure. No, go ahead.
You have your website. It's a beautiful website, and we could share that link on the podcast below. So people, if you want to look at Amaris's website, we'll provide the link on the podcast description. But the quote that you're referring to, and I love that you really segued into this, is "Small acts, when multiplied by millions of people, can transform the world." By Howard Zinn. That was I think you summarized that so beautifully.
Right? Yeah. And that's the thing, like, Rome was not built in a day. Everyone went like, yeah, no, I think that's my biggest lesson from here, being a teacher in Japan. Like, and not that I don't have a lot of opportunities, but I've been blessed with things, and I don't know if it's God, I don't know if it's Mother Nature. I don't do things to get something in return. I do it because I feel like it's the right thing.
That's awesome.
But I always, in some sort of way, I always end up in these situations where I'm like, okay, I was thinking about like you and I was thinking about doing a podcast, and I told you about it, and
Yeah, yeah,
now
yeah.
we're here, right?
Yeah,
So
we're here.
it's just I believe that you should live life not to expect anything, but you should also, um, like of course work on yourself, so self love, but also try try to give something to people without expecting anything.
I love that. That's wonderful. So you've been in Japan for a year and 2 months. Do you get to go home often or at all back to California or to
I
Mexico?
could, I could, but I don't have the money. um, I didn't. I We have teachers that go home like after 4 months of being here, but I have not seen my family for a whole year because I did
Wow.
want to take this challenge. But I'm
Mhm.
going back home for Christmas for a whole month.
Oh, that's good. So I get to spend some time with family during that Christmas time.
Hmm. Correct. So I can go back every, like summer or Christmas, but it's really expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, Japan is not in the corner. It's not in the corner of.
It's not an easy access. Absolutely.
So, but other than that, I'm very excited to see them. And I guess like part of the reason why I don't miss them that much is because I actually keep in contact with my family a
Mhm.
lot, and also I have a good community here, right? So it's not
Mhm.
like,
Keeps you level.
yeah.
Yeah, it keeps you
Mhm.
level. That's awesome. All right, Amaris, what are things that you love to do once the weekend hits and you're like, you know what, it's my time now. I get to do things on that's me. What is it? What do you like to do? Y si me dices que tequila, I'm gonna have to edit that part out.
Really? No, I'm drinking water. Um, well,
Is it though?
okay. So I do a little bit of everything. Like
Mm,
some, I don't do the same thing every weekend because first I don't have the money, and also like I've been here a year, so you can already imagine how my year has been. The first months here, partying with my girls, traveling. I've traveled a lot in Japan so far, and I've done a lot of karaoke. But over the weekends, I've been doing more. Nowadays, I clean my apartment, I go to the beach, or I study.
mm.
I study and I work on my professional side or for my kids
Wait,
while
wait,
they're
wait.
sick.
You're studying, so you're still going to school?
I just graduated with the TOEFL certification. It's really easy to
Wow.
get. And
Wow.
now I'm gonna take another certification that I got accepted for.
That's amazing.
For Yeah, but I am working on my grad school applications. That's what I'm
Mhm.
by studying. And also I'm studying Japanese on the side. A little bit.
Wow. See, you're just doing amazing things and you keep your life so busy. So part of it is still extending studying, having fun, but it sounds like also being able to slow down and just soak up the moment that you're there to live in the moment.
Yeah, I just so here's my thing. I have a couple of months, like 8 months, but I'm gonna stay here another year and then I'm ready to move on. Like I don't want to get a job. I want to get my master's. And we'll
Mhm.
touch later on that because last time we talked, I told you I didn't want to work for the UN, but new goals came up. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
Amaris, you're doing wonderful and tremendous things in Japan, and also just doing a lot of wonderful things, and also carrying your culture, which is amazing. Yeah, some advice that you would give to a student who wants to follow this path to be able to explore the world and do the things that you're doing.
Yeah, of course. Um, I think education and I think being an English teacher is the best way to go with it if you want to go to another country. Depending on where the person wants to go, I would really I educate myself with the resources. First, I will reach out to my school, right? Like see what resources the study abroad program has or Trio, right? But the JET program was also kind of already there because I graduated from the Japanese department,
Hmm.
but I also applied to another one without my university like helping me because I knew that if I didn't get accepted to the JET program, that was going to be my plan B. So I got
Hmm.
accepted to be a teacher in Korea at the time.
Hmm.
But I guess like just having various options, creating like a spreadsheet, working ahead of time is the best way to do it. Write down your recommendations, write down your essay, clean your resume, talk to people who have been in the program, watch videos, educate yourself. Like,
Hmm.
what does that program encounter you? But also educate yourself with what the host country has. Like what is it a safe place? Am I gonna feel comfortable? Do I know the language? Um, I mean, I don't. Not only that, but there's other. You don't have to be an English teacher, but I'm just saying like that's the easiest and safest way to do it.
Absolutely. Awesome. Are there any things that you would like to touch on that I didn't get to ask you, or you would like to share with the audience?
Yeah, of course. Remember last time when you asked me about the second podcast we talk about me not being not wanting to work for the UN anymore, and you were kind of
Oh,
shocked.
that's right. Because that was when we first met. Like that was one goal, and then you're like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna do work for the UN." Yeah, like, yeah. Follow up. What's up?
Yeah. And because I was working for San Diego State as a university coordinator, right?
Yep.
So after working here in Japan as an English teacher, and like I also mentioned, I'm the regional advisor for the teachers. I was gonna say my kids for the for the teachers.
They might as well be your kids.
Well, I mean,
You're advising them that they eventually kind of be.
chamacos, ¿verdad?
Chamaco, sí.
Oh my God.
Plebes.
Um, they. So I've been trying. I work for Fulbright. I don't know if you ever heard about Fulbright.
I've heard of Fulbright. Yeah.
I worked for them for a little bit through San Diego State. I met Fulbrighters and I was assisting. I was not doing anything
Oh, right.
crazy, just assisting.
Right.
Incredible people, smart people. I'm just gonna say Fulbright. It's like top leagues, like a whole different world.
Mhm.
So I'm my boss and my old directors, the associate dean for San Diego State and that kind of stuff, like have recommended me to apply after I've been in Japan for a little bit. That's what I'm telling you. I have like this big spreadsheet with my options of my life and what do I need, and that's why I work on essays because I think I am not only Fulbright, but I want to either go to Ireland, and then I found this scholarship program, which you get your master's in Beijing, China.
Mm.
It's called the Sorcersman Scholarship, and you
Oh,
get your master's in global affairs, and it's everything's
wow.
funded.
Yeah.
Only 2.3% of the people get it. 5,000 or 6,000 people apply every year.
But only
It's
like
really difficult.
yeah.
0.3%, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So and this is not like I cannot do it, but I've been a little bit hesitant because like all the people that get there are like from very prestigious universities like Princeton, Harvard, but I've also encountered people from community colleges.
Mhm.
So I am applying, and literally this is like the best program that fits me. It's about leadership, empathy, culture competence. Like it's just everything that I'm passionate about. And are you telling me that I can get that for free in China? Of course I'm gonna
That's
apply.
awesome. Yeah.
It's just
Amazing.
the essay's so hard because it's like leadership essay. Tell us about your experience being a leader. And since
Well,
there's a lot of pressure that I feel from, the end. So my essay, I've been rewriting it over and over again because I cannot find my true colors. Because it's like literally showing your true colors. So I'm trying to find the
certainly.
best way to do it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's my next step, getting my master's in another country and then just go with the flow.
Yeah. Amaris, you're doing wonderful work, and to see you continue pursuing your goals and your aspirations from here at this angle looks it just incredible journey that you're having, and I'm so glad you're sharing your story with us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. No, thank you, Juan. Every time, like I'm happy to do it. It's an honor to be in your podcast for a third time.
Love having you
And
on.
thank you. No, same. I like talking to you. Diciendo se pone bueno.
We always have a good time. Next time, hopefully next time, I'm in Japan. You and I can meet up.
Oh
I
my
have the
God.
microphone, and we'd be live. And this time, drinking some tequila.
Oh my gosh, for sure. No, yeah. Anytime you want to come, let me know. I got you.
Absolutely,
Yeah, no, I know because
absolutely.
you like Japanese anime. You told me. I remember you say you like anime when you were
Yeah, I
here,
do.
but
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Chala, chala. Oh my God, One Piece live action. You know he's Mexican, right?
Oh yeah. I saw that.
Miyaki Godoy, amazing.
I
I
love
finished.
that.
Sorry, I'm just
I no.
Latino.
Wait, I'm gonna tell you right now. It's the live action one got me to like the anime now too. So I'm giving the
Right?
anime a chance.
Same. I'm sorry, but the thing is, it's so slow. One Piece
Yeah,
is so slow.
it simmers, right? It takes its time.
Like Naruto. But yeah, no. And talking about Latino, do we still have more time or not really?
Yeah, we have all the time you want.
Okay. Um,
Dale.
Talking about Latino representation, can I just say there's not a lot of Latinos in my here in my JET program?
Okay, so in JET, you're saying not a lot of Latinos that go over to teach English and to share culture.
Yeah, I guess there's a decent amount, but I mean, this year in my area, we had 4 new Latinos, which I'm so happy. But
Wow.
last year when I first came, it was only 2.
Oh, okay.
So before I came, it was
Wow.
only 1.
So it's good that the numbers are increasing, but it just seems like it's still it sounds like it's a predominantly white type of like the jet program that the English teachers are predominantly white. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
not white. The what do they call it here?
Say
The that idealistic of what a foreigner looks in Japanese society.
what? Really?
Yeah, I don't know if
Wow.
you should take this off. I think you should take it off because
We'll leave it off the podcast, no worries. I think that's for and we'll get off the topic after I say this, but a lot of perceptions from other countries is they see Americans as this one stereotype of a person, right? You
yeah,
go over
yeah,
and you
yeah.
tell them I'm American, they're like, "Oh my God, you must be obnoxious or whatever." But yeah, sorry, I'll get off of it now.
No, no, you're fine. You're fine. It's just like, well, cut this part. Just say,
Yeah, I'll
like,
cut it.
no, the racism has. I've gone through racism here, but
Mm,
since I work
mhm.
for my company, I talk in Spanish in my TikToks, so nobody knows what I'm saying.
Okay.
So like,
Yeah.
I have a TikTok page where I talk about my experiences here in Japan,
Yeah.
being marginalized because I've gotten that.
Yeah.
But I have to be careful now that I'm the regional advisor because if I say a comment, like if I say white people, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, but
I'm
no,
sorry.
it's still there, and oh no, you're fine. It's still here, and it's like that's why I do also the things that I do because I'm not racist. I don't want to make white people feel down because I've had some really cool white friends, but the reality, my friend, like minorities have gone through so much for hundreds of years,
I
and it's
absolutely
like
agree.
I cannot, I cannot ignore. I can respect, but it's just like also
Hmm.
growing up as a Latina and getting, people telling me that to go back to my country when I was 13 years old or calling me names.
Mm,
It's like, you know, yeah,
absolutely.
that's why I'm like, oh, I'm so tired of white people at this point.
I
Not
hear you.
tired, but some white people. I'm just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I totally sympathize and hear you on that end for sure.
yeah. But
So
other than that, yeah, just cut this part.
we'll cut this entire segment. Amaris, for you, what is coming next? What's next for you? I know you're applying for your master's. You're working on that. But yeah, what's next for you?
Oh, you always ask this question and I have to think
I
about it.
always do. You have to be ready.
I after working in Sandoval State University for a couple of months, I wanted to be a dean, an associate dean,
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
and I'm saying that like I really want to, but I recently got in to realize that I like to be out there and travel and meeting new people, go to conferences, talk about cultures, talk about education, social rights, social justice. But
Yeah.
I don't really know what job I want inside that area. So that's why the master's in education and global leadership or like global affairs is perfect for me because it's like it can allow me to get myself educated with what I've been interested in all my life. Um, I still want to be an associate dean, but if maybe I can get some more experience of like working, and not that I want to work for the UN. The option's still there, but maybe like work for a company that thrives for equality, inclusivity, education, stuff like that. Like UNICEF, I really like UNICEF or Peace Corps. I don't know. There's a lot of companies out there.
Absolutely.
So I think after getting my master's, getting more experience or doing some research through Fulbright. But other than that, I do want to get settled back home when I'm like 30 and spend time with family.
Hmm.
Um, but that's why I'm taking advantage of everything right now. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
But I mean, if you, okay, my big dream in my essay, I'm gonna read a little bit.
A ver, dale.
Este, okay, let me see if I can find it. Leadership essay. Okay. Okay, I'm still working on it, but I can read you the first part. Okay, so this is like just an idea. Like it's not really the intro, it's just like a sentence that I wrote about, for the scholarship of the masters in China. So
Hmm.
the more I have traveled and immersed myself in multiculturalism and global competence, the more I am to dive into cultural globalization. I am dedicated to promoting a society in which language, racial, socioeconomic barriers are eliminated, while also expanding multiculturalism between communities through education, and so on. Pursuing a master's degree in global affairs, leadership, global perspectives, or inclusion in order to acquire the required knowledge and skills is the key to to create global educational opportunities and advance international programs while promoting a cultural understanding and equitable access to education. Becoming part of the Schwarzman's program will allow me to expand my cultural knowledge, specifically China's pedagogy, and that's all I have. Because
Oh,
it's
wow.
just like it's not it's just an idea. I'm not making it sound like,
Right, 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 right.
but
Okay.
that's what I'm aiming for, kind of. Because my dad told me, my dad and my mom have told me, we love that you work for a university, right? But we see you doing more things than just
Mhm.
being in the university. And I'm like, cool. Now I have to study more.
So, maybe they're seeing what I'm seeing, Amaris, is that you have this potential to not just work for a university. I don't think being tied down by a university is your style. It's working with various organizations, institutions, and being able to promote your work and being able to speak to those organizations, almost like a consultant, almost like a person that's working outside of the system to change it.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, no, I can see myself doing that because I've seen it. I've seen it. Like I like to talk to people, and not only I'm an educator, but like in my school, my supervisor is also like you build these. You like to plan stuff. You like to bring communities together, and that I think that's what I've learned. Um, Networking is the best skill you can acquire as a professional
Mm-hmm.
in the world, in society.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think in the world. I think anywhere in any multiverse, multi like networking is a key. Getting to know people, getting the resources, like it's so important.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Well, Amaris, that's all the questions I have for you for this podcast episode. Anything else you want to let the audience know about the things that you're up to?
Um, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Like I'm an English teacher in Japan, and I'm doing this. I mean, I guess I'm still trying to get myself educated, I guess, on the part time, like I'm gonna take the CELTA certification soon. A lot of travel a lot. But other than that, no, just living life, I guess. And whoever wants to apply to work to be a teacher in Japan, I would really recommend it. I do have to say that people should totally live in another country and just work there for a year. It
That's
changes
amazing
you.
advice. Yeah.
It changes you. It's like you're gonna live for 80 years for your whole life. You graduate from college, you're young, live life, meet people from different countries. Like go for
Mm,
it. It
absolutely.
changes you. I don't feel the same as I was a person a year back.
Yeah, you've
It's
totally there's an evolution to you, and it's
right.
noticeable. So yeah, it's wonderful. Amaris, as we always do on this podcast, we have that tradition where we sign off. Do you want to sign off or do a unique sign off? Because you've already done the previous two, so this one should be a unique one.
Well, I'm gonna say it again. I guess expose yourself to the unknown. I know I said that in my second episode, but for real, like growing as a Latina and as a minority, I know how hard it gets because family is everything for us. But definitely, like, if you're curious about something, do it. Live life, put yourself out there, leave your family, go to another country, go get, do whatever you need to do. But I would say like getting out of your comfort zone, getting out of the States, I'm going to be honest, get out of the States and travel through education, travel through a job. Like I've known people who have stayed in the States, and it's like, it's okay to stay in the States, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, there's no right or wrong age to travel the world. Just do it. And then you can do it by having a job and having a community, way better, right? But
absolutely.
Yeah. Get out of the States. That's my advice.
Awesome.
if the person wants, the person wants, I really recommend it. Yeah. So I guess I will say adios, sayonara, farewell.
That was our guest, Amaris Lopez, TRIO Student Support Services Alum from California State University-Monterey Bay. Amaris, thank you so much for being on the podcast and for sharing your professional journey. And it's amazing to see, after 3 episodes, how far you've grown in your professional career and in your educational journey. We look forward to more. Remember, if you would like to be on the Let's Talk Trio podcast or Nora staff, advocate, participant, or alumni, send us an email at letstalktrio@gmail.com. That email again is letstalktrio@gmail.com. A huge thanks to our sponsors, Angelica Villalpando, Dr. Jamie Motley, Dr. Ryan Barone, Dr. Jeff Naputi, Angelica Valdez, Rosario Riley, Felicia Rivera, TrioJoblist.com, NOSOTROS Education Center, Cambridge Educational Services, and Student Access. Thank you all so much for your support of this podcast. You too can be a sponsor of the Let's Talk Trio podcast in one of 3 ways. Become a monthly patron on Patreon. Our base level starts at $1 a month. If you own a business and would like to run an ad on our podcast, please get in touch with us at letstalktrio@gmail.com. Become a supporter with a one-time donation to the podcast PayPal account. Our handle for PayPal is at Let's Talk Trio. I'd like to take a moment to thank our honorary members of the Let's Talk Trio podcast, Roderick Chambers, Tony Ho, Scott Kendall, and Susan Cramp. The Let's Talk Trio podcast team is John Russell, audio engineer, music producer and composer, and post-production editor. Amelia Castañeda, script supervisor, marketing manager, social media manager, and producer. Juan Rivas, executive producer and host. 2024 is an election year. I urge all our listeners to make sure you cast your ballot and you exercise your right to vote. Thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode.